So let's talk about something we all deal with. Going from those gut reactions, those knee-jerk impulses, to making choices that are actually, well, purposeful. And it all starts with a moment I think you'll recognize. Oh yeah, you know the one. That moment your thumb just flies across the screen, fired up by anger or anxiety, and you hit send. And then, maybe a second later, that horrible sinking feeling washes over you. We've all been there.
You know that impulsive moment? That's not some kind of character flaw. Not at all. It's just your emotional brain yanking the steering wheel. It's a really powerful, ancient part of us that's hardwired for survival, not for navigating a tricky group chat.
Look, this internal tug-of-war isn't about trying to get rid of your emotions. It's about understanding the two different sides of your own mind, so you get to decide who's really in charge.
Think of it like a race between two runners inside your head. Your emotional brain is a sprinter. It's lightning fast, totally reactive, and built for one thing, survival. But your thinking brain, that's your marathon runner. It's slower, way more deliberate, and it's focused on your actual goals. So in a moment of stress, who do you think gets off the starting blocks first? Yeah, the sprinter, almost every time, unless we learn a trick to give the marathon runner a little head start. And that's exactly where self-management comes in. It's the skill of stepping in and taking charge of those emotions and impulses. It's all about learning to respond thoughtfully instead of just reacting blindly. This, right here, is the key to turning that impulse into real purpose.
But here's the really cool part. This isn't just about willpower or trying harder. This is about biology. We can actually train our brains to respond differently, and the science behind it is it's fascinating. So research shows that practices like mindfulness can literally remodel your brain. Your amygdala, think of it as your brain's super-sensitive smoke detector, it becomes less jumpy, less trigger-happy. At the very same time, your hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, which are basically your brain's CEO and learning center, they get stronger and more active. What this means is you can literally train your brain to be calmer and more focused. Okay, so how do we actually put this science into practice? Well, it all starts with one incredibly simple, yet ridiculously powerful action.
It all comes down to the pause. Just a brief moment that you create between what happens to you and how you react. That little space is everything. It's the gap where you hit the brakes on the emotional brain's hostile takeover and give your slower, more thoughtful thinking brain a chance to come online and say, hey, wait a minute, what if we did this instead? Need a tool you can use right now for that pause? Try the belly breath. Seriously, just put your hands on your stomach. Take a slow breath in through your nose and feel your belly expand like a balloon. Then breathe out just as slowly, feeling it fall. This one simple action sends a direct signal to your nervous system that says, hey, we're safe. It short-circuits that fight-or-flight response almost instantly.
And listen, this isn't just some abstract theory. I love this quote from a 12th grade student named Jeffrey. He said it perfectly. This kind of practice literally makes you feel the stress coming off your body. It's a real, tangible shift from being on high alert to feeling calm and in control. Now, breathing is huge, but it's just one tool. There are so many ways to practice this pause and build up your self-management muscles. So let's stock your toolkit with a few more ideas you can use in your daily life. And these don't have to be complicated. Mindful reading can just be 10 minutes with a book you actually like, not to race to the end of the chapter, but just to focus on the words. An affirmation can be as simple as repeating a phrase like, I am calm, or I've got this, when you feel overwhelmed. In noise isolation, that's just tuning everything else out and focusing on one single sound, like a ticking clock or the hum of your computer, to pull your attention right back into the present moment.
And get this, that mindful reading idea, it's not just a nice little thing to do. Studies have shown that just 10 minutes of reading can slash your stress levels by up to 68%. I mean, think about that. That is an incredible return for such a tiny investment of your time.
Now, for those of you who are more reflective, journaling can be a game changer. It's not just about writing down what happened during your day. It's about being a detective, looking for patterns, and figuring out what your unique triggers are. Or, hey, you can skip words altogether. Things like painting, sketching, or even just doodling, they let you process complex feelings when you just can't seem to find the right language for them.
All right, so creating this inner calm is the foundation. It's absolutely crucial. But self-management is also about what you decide to build on top of that foundation. It's about moving from that state of calm into a state of really purposeful action.
This is the ultimate point, right? We're not just managing our stress for the sake of feeling zen. We're managing our inner world so we can be more effective at shaping our outer world, so we can build the life we actually want to live.
And here's a simple roadmap for that. First, set clear goals you can actually measure. Then take those big, scary ambitions and break them down into tiny, manageable steps so you don't get overwhelmed. Know that you're going to face challenges and decide right now that you'll persevere. And this last one is so important. Celebrate your progress. Acknowledging those small wins is the fuel that keeps you going on the journey.
So, let's just boil it all down. Remember, your brain has these two systems, the fast emotional one and the slow thinking one. A simple pause is your secret weapon to give your thinking brain a chance to step in. The tools we talked about, they literally rewire your brain to be calmer and more focused. And finally, all this inner work is what paves the road to your long-term goals and success.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. Forget the massive 5-year plans for just a second. Based on what you really want to achieve, what is one small, intentional, purposeful action you can take this week? Because that, right there, that's where it all begins.